They're just pretty. That's
man.
the thing. They go
like
together.
twins.
I just put a post out there as well. They're going to get it better than peanut butter and jelly, and better than fish and chips, and better than everything.
That's it. Kind of like Phil and Phil go together, right?
That's right. Like the two Phils at the same time.
That's it, man. 2 books, 2 Phils. So what's up, Phil Jones? So we're together today, man, to talk about now the newer book, which is not the newest book that's coming out for you, brother. Exactly How to Sell, the sales guide for non-sales professionals, which is kind of cool, right? When you think about it, if you're not in sales, right, you need a guide. So, Phil, why don't people think they're in sales, man? Aren't we all in sales?
I mean, people hate the idea of being in sales. And sure, we are all in sales in some way, shape, or form. And I ask my audiences, I say things like, so are salespeople born or are they made? Like born or made? And I get this conflicting set of decisions back in the other direction. But what I've learned is that what a 3-year-old does when they want something is they ask for it. And they keep asking for it to get what they want. So I think everybody was born a salesperson. And the 3-year-old will then go on to do whatever it takes to get what they want. So adults started to tell lies to children, resulting in them, going on to believe that in some ways it's rude to ask, or I want doesn't get. So it creates this paradox of thought that actually asking for the things that we want in life is a bad thing. Yet what I've also learned is that if you do not ask, you do not get. So the crazy thing is that we know as adults that if you don't ask, you don't get. Yet the majority of people in business, in life, or in any of those kind of things are not asking for what they want. They're wishing, hoping, and praying that somebody's going to come save them one day. And all selling really is earning the right to be able to make a recommendation. It's putting ourselves in a position where it's okay to ask the other person to take an action, to move in a certain direction. And everybody's selling. Sometimes it's a product, sometimes it's a service, but always it's an outcome, an action, a behavior, a difference in opinion. We're all looking to be able to sell in some way, shape, or form to get other people to do something different, think different, or act different.
Well, that definitely does sound like then we all sell. It comes to reason then that we'd want to sell more. So between, though, the understanding now, yes, I want to sell more, raise my hand, right? And knowing that. So what's the gap, Phil? How do we help close that gap between the knowing and the doing?
Well, the world gets super excited by the world of marketing, right? Got to market more to create more opportunity. And there's a giant difference between sales and marketing. What marketeers do is they get bees around a honey pot. They say, the honey's so sweet, please turn up. But they have no control over who those bees are. Now, I'm pushing out to the listeners right now and saying, I mean, how many of you have ever got a customer you wish you didn't have?
How many of you have a customer you don't have? Wow.
You wish you didn't have, right? Like everybody in some way is probably sat there with the thought of, I've done some work with somebody and it was awful. It was ugly. It was horrible. Now, that wasn't somebody you strategically hunted down and said, I'd love to do business with. I'd love to hang out with regularly. Most of us are looking for long-term relationships. Biggest difference between sales and marketing is that salespeople get the right to choose their customers. Like they decide to say, you're the people I want to do business with. And then they get out there and they get after that group full of people. So they're not pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. They're, I'm picking you. I'm going to provide a great service to you. You're the perfect person for my product. You're somebody I want to hang out with. Your company is somebody I'd love to do business with. So the questions that we should be looking to ask ourselves is that if we'd like to find more customers, but we don't like the idea of being salespeople, the first decision that we need to make is who is it we are looking to find? People say, well, I'm looking to work with multinationals. I'm looking to work with speakers or coaches. I'm looking to work with busy people. Well, the trouble is I can't see that. We have to be more focused. Phil, have you ever been responsible for looking after kids?
Yes, actually, that was my first job. I was a after-school care teacher.
You got kids alongside you. Say, for example, you're in a shopping center. You got a few kids alongside you, and in a shopping mall, you see an item that you quite like. You walk towards that thing, and you realize you like it more than you thought you would. And in that moment, you then turn around for the opinion of the kids, and in that precise moment, the kids are gone. What is the thought or the feeling? Right? The thought or the feeling is probably devastation or despair. Like, it's that face. And what we then do is we think we must find the kids. So how well would you describe those children to somebody in order to increase your chance of finding them? You'd go picture perfect, right? Show photos on your phone, hair color, eye color, what they're wearing, the whole 9 yards. Because you know the better the description, the more likely you are to find those people. I'm guessing if you lost 2 kids, those are the 2 kids you'd want back.
Yeah.
Not just another 2 kids. I'm not going to take those 2 in place. Here are parents, 2 new ones. You've got to find the right ones. So what we will do is we know how to behave when we've got missing people. But the customers you don't have right now in your business, those are missing people too. They're missing from your appointment calendar. They're missing from your sales records. They're missing from your CRM. They're missing from your bank balance. They're missing from your customer records. I don't care where they're missing from. I just know that they are missing. So if what we can do is we can define who the people are that we're looking to help and define them in a picture perfect fashion, we can then get after those precise people. Let's remember again what happens here is people say, well, my dream client would be Coca-Cola. I mean, this thing came to a seminar the other day. Dream client was Coca-Cola. Sounds great. Trouble is Coca-Cola can't make a decision. There's a person within Coca-Cola that is responsible for making the decision that this individual would have liked to have all of their dreams come true. Their perfect customer. And you know the thing was? This guy did not know the name of the person that would need to be able to make the decision within the dream organization. Just didn't know. So we can't get success in decision from people we don't know who we're looking to decide.
Oh.
My encouragement would be that if anybody is looking to sell more, firstly, decide who you're looking for. Secondly, build a list of people that fit that description and make sure the list is at least 10 times bigger than the number of people that you would like to say yes to your thing in the next 12 weeks. And a list of people. Now we're not saying, please pick me, please pick me, please pick me. We're saying, I'm proactive, I'm in control, I'm going to go get these people. The irony of it is, when I ask people how many new customers would you look to bring on board, most people say, well, as many as I can get. It's the wrong answer. Now, if I gave you, Phil, like 47,000 brand new clients tomorrow, could you serve them?
Not even a little bit.
No, you'd mess it up. And if you got none for the next 6 months, you and your family would go hungry, right? So there's a
I'd
number
be living with you, Phil.
And a number that's too big, which means that between those 2 numbers is a number that's just right, and you can pick it. Everybody can pick their number. So if we set our stall out to succeed, we move from wishing, hoping, and praying and towards, I'm in control, I can get after this. If the list of people that you have is 10 times bigger than the number of new customers you'd like to join you in the next 12 weeks, you're in great shape. But quite often that number is small. 2 new customers in the next quarter, 6 new customers in the next new quarter, 20 new clients per month. They're not giant numbers. If you wanted 20 new people to come to a dinner party, would you plaster it all over Facebook? Would you, put an advert in the newspaper? Would you do a radio broadcast? Would you, stick it in a newspaper mailer? No, you'd handpick the 20 people. You'd pick at least 20 people. Because this is the other thing. People say, I want 6 brand new customers. You say, how many people have you invited to be customers? They say 3. And I can't make this stuff up, but that's the reality of what is happening. We are all in the business of selling, yet the majority of people are setting their stall out to fail, where success is an impossibility or as likely as a lottery win. And what we can do is we can take control. If you wanted 6 new customers, you got 60 people on the list that fit the description of people that you'd like to be customers, and that's a list of people and not companies. What happens to your confidence?
It goes way up.
Yeah. Another big thing, though, in the world of selling is that if you are not convinced, you cannot convince. If you do not believe that you have a value to bring towards the other person, don't expect them to see that value in you. And I think that's another thing that people live in fear of, right? They live just in this fearful situation of, I don't believe in me. Now, if I don't believe in me, the other person's never going to believe in me. So people listening in right now, if they want to get clearer on selling, is the first sale that needs to happen is the one on themselves. They need to have done the good enough job on them to think, damn, I'm worth it. In fact, I'm bordering on brilliant. But the position to be at isn't at that level of arrogance that is associated with many a salesperson. Just south of arrogant, the highest level of confidence sits just south of arrogance, and it's full of giant heart, it's full of care, and it's there to be able to pick up the pieces of the young run. Want to wrap our head around selling more so, best thing that everybody could do is change the finish line. The finish line isn't the day the client signs the deal. The finish line isn't the day you get paid. The finish line isn't when they come out of a trial period. The finish line is when the client gets or exceeds on the promise that you made to them the day that you shook hands on the deal. That's what we're working towards. We're working on that destination. If you're in the travel industry, you don't enjoy signing the deal when they book the holiday, the vacation. You enjoy the email you receive when they get back from the vacation saying it was brilliant. I'm glad I went with you. I'm glad I picked it. Same thing is true in all of our products and services listening in right now. Shift the finish line to the true outcome that the other person is buying. Now, all of a sudden, the sale is just a decision that needs to happen to get them to their dream vacation. It's not the finish line. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, you're not rambling. That makes good sense. So let's talk that through. So we pick who we want to be,
Yep.
which has got to be a bigger list than the number of sales we want to make.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then we believe in ourselves. We believe that we're good enough, that we have enough value.
Yep.
And then we focus our eyes on the finish line. And the finish line is not the sale. The finish line is the outcome that they receive that you promised them when you sign the deal. Is that right, Phil?
That's right.
Wow. Well, that sounds so simple. So you wrote a whole book. I mean, that sounds like what? Like one chapter of exactly what to sell?
There's about three pages.
About 3 pages. So what the heck, man? So what else is in there?
Well, all of that stuff makes sense, right? Everybody could nod along and smile. Well, firstly, there's how do I build this list? Then there's how do I approach the people on this list? Then there's the what do I want to happen in that first approach? Then there's how do I lead through to the second conversation? What do I do to make that conversation work out? Then there's the, well, what's the information I need to deliver? Then there's how do I ask the right questions to get people to make informed decisions? There's then what happens if things don't go right and I deal with some form of indecision? There's then what next in terms of how do I manage these people to create a recurring revenue of spend? There's then how do I lead some people? In fact, what the book is exactly how to sell. So I kind of try to title it in delivering what it says. I didn't want there to be like any surprises, like, oh, I thought this was a book on tapestry creation. But I wrote it for the people who don't see themselves as salespeople. It's for all of us that need to go out and be able to make a difference and get people to say yes, get people to part with money, and then go on to deliver something that drives value for the money that we took from somebody. And that is almost everybody.
Yeah. Wow. So the book is 14,000 pages. No, it's not. So that's the crazy thing. I mean, you talked about all the stuff that goes through it. Phil, without the about the author and the thanks at the end, it is only 144 pages.
Yeah, and it's small, right? The book is even smaller.
Yeah, the book is small, right? So look at my face, right? So this is the book, right? It's not big. It's a small book.
Now, smart people do a good job of making complicated things simple so other people can get it. Others make simple things sound smart to make themselves sound smart. My goal in all of my work as an author is to simplify, demystify, and turn things into ways that other people can get it, make it feel like their own. So I challenge myself to write the shortest books I can. That's the goal. So many of you might know with exactly what to say that the goal behind that book was to read it cover to cover within an hour and have instant actionable takeaways that people can put into practice. I wanted this to be a book in exactly how to sell that you read cover to cover in 2, maybe 3 hours, but with a notebook alongside you. That if you only have 20 minutes, you can read it for 20 minutes, come away with a handful of actions in the notebook, and then get to work, leave the book on one side, come back to it 2 months down the tracks if that would be helpful. That's how I plan for it to be used. If you're stuck in a rut with your business and you want to just spark up some ideas for what next, you could open it almost any way you want within the book, and it might inspire you that there's something within your control that you can take action on and go out and go to get, kind of do something with. Again, that was the goal. So I'm hoping that I've delivered on that.
Yeah, I absolutely think you have, Phil. And Carolyn Quinn says the book is needed, and I would totally agree, Carolyn. I've not read a book like this before, and I don't know that we're going to see another one because it's no BS. It's all actionable insight. So I would say, Phil, truly, I've talked to a lot of salespeople. You offer a ton of action. So if you're trying to give us 1 or 2 actions, like what's the next 1 or 2 things that we should do besides those things that you said? Maybe give us 1 on the approach and maybe 1 on the close here.
Okay, well, I'm going to echo some actions based on the principles that we've already talked about. Is firstly, design your missing person poster. And I know it sounds stupid. Have a physical missing person poster that you say, these are the people I'm looking for. Because the most beautiful thing with a missing person poster and having calculated its description, you've now got a rejection-free way of creating an opening with everybody you've ever met. See, what I can now do is, instead of rush out into my marketplace saying, do you know anybody who wants to buy the widgets? You could say, I'm looking to find people that look like this. Do you know anybody that looks like this? See, now what I can do is I can go hunting into my marketplace, build myself a remarkable reputation by having others help find my missing person. What I can also do is, having had the knowledge of that missing person poster, is when I find somebody, I can create an opening towards those people that, again, is completely rejection-free. What I can do is I can ask for the one thing that everybody loves to give. The one thing that everybody loves to give is their opinion. If I want a 3-stage approach to be able to introduce just about anything to just about anybody, all I need is a polite opening, then a fact, and then a question. Polite opening, then a fact, then a question, right? That gets me into any conversation. Polite opening. Hi, it's Phil here. You can use that. I can use that. I suggest others use their own name. Hi, it's Phil. Fact might be, I understand that you are in the logistics business, right? Whatever the business is, whatever the missing person is, I understand that you're in the logistics business. Second fact that we might build on that is, we've been having a huge success helping people in the logistic business achieve X, Y, and Z, right? Oh, okay, straight into the conversation. Question, am I right in saying that you are the right person to speak to when it comes to improving efficiencies within your sales pipeline, improving efficiencies within your logistic workflow, improving efficiencies within your HR function, whatever it might be? Hi, my name's this. This is the fact. Are you the right person to speak to about? Boom. We're straight into conversation. But the missing person can guide all of that. And guess what happens? Is you can have missing person. You can also have missing people. So we can start to change our focus. I could speak on this stuff for days. I've got thousands of strategies that people can plug into. But the key to success in this world is basics to a high standard consistently. There is nothing more scientific than that. So my goal to everybody listening in right now is to take something as simple as that and then use it. Design a missing person poster. Rush out into your marketplace. Ask people to help find your missing people. Make sure people within your team know what your missing people are. They know who the people are that you're looking to serve and what the problems are that you solve for them. 2 key pieces of information that everybody in your company needs to know. Who do you serve? What problems do you solve for them? Then once you've got a list of missing people, you now can bring the epidemic to the people. And then when you find yourself speaking to people who fit a version of the description of your missing person, you've got an opening fact question approach that leads you into a powerful conversation. You can ask for the one thing that everybody loves to give, which is their opinion. Hey, I'd love your opinion on how our services might be able to benefit you and your people. Hey, I'd love your opinion on how working more in this kind of area might have a positive impact on your kind of industry. And now we're into a conversation. Simple thing that will never go out of fashion is questions. Create conversations. Conversations build relationships. Relationships create opportunities. Opportunities lead to sales. That will never go out of fashion. It's one of the most important things that we need to consider. Nobody wants to buy your thing. They only want to buy the results of what your thing can do for them. Questions create conversations. Conversations build relationships. Relationships create opportunities. Opportunities lead to sales. Boom. That's all we got.
Awesome. Well, this has been great, Phil. I really appreciate all the great stuff you shared. If people want to get more of Phil, you want to go to philmjones.com. That's Phil, like me, philmjones.com. Click on get his books. His books, seriously, invest $50. You're going to get a great book. A couple great books with some great ideas from Phil Jones. Phil is fantastic, great guy in New York who's doing this right before he's about to do another program. So Phil, thanks so much for your time.
People in the world of hearing care now. So people who sell hearing aids, who hate the idea of being salespeople, that have to get people to part with significant amounts of money to buy something they fundamentally don't want to own, that will work about half as well as they hoped it would and cost about 4 times more than they wished it would. Once they've got it, they don't want to tell anybody they own it. So I think that's the toughest sales gig in the world. If yours is any easier than that, just understand that you're downhill skiing.
Wow. So real quick, Phil, 30 seconds. What do you think about cold calls? Carolyn wants to know, do you believe in cold calls?
I believe that there's no need to ever make a cold call in your entire life. No need ever. And we talk about this in the book. And if somebody wants to be able to jump on something quicker than the book, on my YouTube channel, there is a 6-minute video that is called Stop Making Cold Calls. And it's about how you can build a list full of people that are your friends, that when you're calling them, you're calling with a purpose. And the purpose isn't, I'd like to sell you something. The purpose is something altogether different. The second, third, fourth purpose might well be that we have something that could be of benefit. Cold calls are unnecessary. Now, I can teach people to be good at them. Would make far more sense to then not do them, just to have a different type of call instead that is better for both parties.
Wow, awesome. So stop cold calling. I just posted the link down in the comments there. I'll make sure it's in the show notes. Phil, I know you got to go, buddy. Thanks so much for your time. You're the best, dude. Thanks.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for having me. Catch up soon.
Yep, see you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.